everybody. I hope that you're having a great spring so far. And I just wanted to do a new series. I want to talk about a complete refresh for spring for the next few weeks. There are all different kinds of ways that we can refresh ourselves this spring. We can do it from head to toe, inside and out, all throughout our lives if we just take it one step at a time. As you can see, you might have noticed I got a new haircut. So I took off all that extra weight that I was carrying on my head, and amazingly, my head does not hurt as much now that my hair is shorter. So I'm very excited about that. I also had an opportunity to offer a donation. So there are lots of ways that you can change your atmosphere, your space, your exterior appearance. You can change the lifestyle that you are leading. You can do all kinds of new things and start refreshing your life from your inside out. So we're going to go over all the different aspects that we can tackle, and we'll do it just a little bit at a time so it's not overwhelming. And by the time we hit summer, we'll feel great and be ready to launch into a vacation that we feel that we have energy for, instead of being so tired and worn out that we never really let go of all of the darkness and the drudgery that we were dragging behind us after the busy winter holiday season was over. So today we're going to start with the traditional step that people do at the beginning of spring, and that is cleaning. And if cleaning is not your favorite, you're not alone. Cleaning is not my favorite. I like my space to be clean, but I don't enjoy spending lots of time cleaning. And therefore, I have found lots of cheats so that I don't spend a lot of time at once cleaning. So first, I'm going to say don't try to do everything. And I'm going to end with don't try to do everything all at once, because it's never a good idea to overtax yourself. So first thing you should try is to clean where you're going to experience the results. So start where you spend the most time. First, you might want to clean out the space where you sleep. Make sure that you're practicing good sleep hygiene, and your space where you sleep is a place that's going to be peaceful and restful. That might be a first place to start. Another place, if you spend a lot of time in the kitchen, that might be a good place to start. Also, you could choose the living room. If you tend to gather with your family there and spend a lot of time and space there, that might be a place where you want to start. So pick where you feel you're going to notice it and feel it the most. Where you need to spend the most time. If you're not sleeping well, the bedroom might be your best option. My bedroom tends to stay fairly clean because I've implemented all of these tips and hacks, and I have ways to get it clean really fast if it's not. So my space that I would need to clean next would be probably my office space. That tends to get very cluttered. So I did just recently work on that a little bit. I had to do taxes, so it needs doing again. So wherever you spend the most time, that's where you're going to need to experience your energy lift the most. So one thing that I love to do that's a great hack that saves you a lot of time is setting up containers. Pretty containers hide clutter. You can't always get rid of all the clutter at once, but if you can organize it into baskets, into file folders, into pretty boxes, old luggage, if you have a luggage theme, a travel theme in your decorating space, that can be a great way to hide clutter. So we don't get rid of clutter. Clutter comes in all the time. Sometimes people have a hard time keeping their space clean because they just can't tackle the clutter. Just sort the clutter into piles, put the piles into something pretty, and that way the piles don't collect dust, and when you need to find something, you know where to find it. So it's kind of a cheat, but it's a cheat that you can continue to use and works ongoing. And then when you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, you can get rid of a little clutter at a time out of those packages. So no one's going to see it until you can get time for it. And that's the other thing that I was going to suggest is pick out some tasks that you know you can do when you have 5 minutes, that you know you can do when you have 10 minutes, or when you have 15 minutes. And if you set those things up, then when you're between other activities, you can do those quick little 5, 10, or 15-minute things in the meantime, and you can get them done and work them in between stuff instead of trying to do a whole house clean all at once. It's a lot easier to do it in small bites. And fresh space habits like small bites save time. You don't end up having to do a whole overhaul of your living room if every time you leave the living room, you always clean up everything you brought in with you. Always put your dishes in the dishwasher and wash your dishes at the end of the day. Never leave dirty dishes in the sink. That is my rule. I cannot stand to wake up in the morning behind. So I will make sure, that's one of my habits, that I always get the kitchen clean before I go to bed. That way every day is new. Now your habits that keep your space fresh may be different. You may have more people in your household. And that is one thing you need to understand too. As a parent or as a caregiver, you need to include all the people in your household in keeping your space clean. And people that you may think don't have the ability to do a lot can do something, and will be grateful for the opportunity to be more a part of the household by participating in keeping it clean. It's a very important boundary setting technique to include everyone in your household as part of keeping the household maintained. Whether it's an elderly person who can just do one little tiny thing, or it's a little small child that can only do one small tiny thing. Make sure they're doing that, because then they are taking on their responsibility and they're participating in the overall activity of keeping that household going. It makes them more a part of the family to be able to do something. And everybody can do one small thing. Everybody can do something. So make sure that you're including them, and do it sweetly, do it nicely, do it in a way that shows that you appreciate the input that they could have and that you need them and that you value their input and their support. So make sure that you are delegating. It's an important part as a parent to know how you can gradually delegate all of the tasks of household maintenance and cleaning until that child, when they leave your house, they should know how to do everything to maintain a house. They should not leave your home and not know how to do laundry or cook or clean the kitchen or clean their own bathroom. They should know how to do all those things. That's part of training them to be a responsible adult. So kids especially need to be involved in part of that maintaining, and age-appropriate things a little bit at a time is important. Keep your cleaning tools handy. That can help those people that are part of your household and you to be able to do it quick. So keep a Swiffer loaded with a Swiffer cloth. Keep it close by so that if you get footsteps coming in, it's easy to Swiffer it up really quick. That only takes a couple of seconds to Swiffer up tracks. And keep a duster really handy so that if something is a mess or a spill, you can keep it already loaded, already handy somewhere close by, so you can just grab it and clean it in a couple of seconds. When you do those quick little things and you keep those tools handy, then it doesn't take as long to clean things up. Use the hacks, use the cheats, use the Clorox wipes, use all those things that take less time. And if you want to go green and go organic, then keep your cloths loaded with your organic cleaners inside of a Tupperware container so that they're wet and ready to use every day that you need them. So that they're just like the Swiffer cloths, just like the Clorox wipes, but you can do them, go green if you want to. If you want to save paper products and not use chemicals, keep them just as loaded and handy and ready to use. And that only takes a couple of minutes. So those little 5-10 minute things are easier if your tools are already loaded and handy. Also, as you're freshening your space, it's not just about cleaning. You also want to add inspirational things. Add things that brighten the room. Every season, you can have a little bit of decor that has an inspirational message to it. You can put a little verse, a little new fresh picture that has a happy message to it. You can have a child's painting that you choose to frame every week on the refrigerator as your artwork of the week. Something that livens the space, that helps you be happy to be home. You should do new things on your bathroom mirror, fresh things that are going to make you feel like the day is worth looking forward to see that new thing this season. And you want to change those up every season so that you have something wonderful to look forward to. I like to use warm colors, bright colors, whites and yellows, and things that are going to make the space feel cheerful and happy. Colors do make a difference in your mood. So depending on where your mood tends to trend, choose some colors that are going to shift your mood in a way that you want it to turn. If you need to have more energy, choose some energetic colors like oranges and reds to put into your space this season. If you tend to be too intense and too anxious, choose some cooler colors like blues and greens and taupes so that you can feel calm in that space. You choose the colors that are going to go with how you want to feel in that room. If you want to feel calm and relaxed in your bedroom space, which is appropriate, you might want to choose some more cool, peaceful colors like greens and blues and mauves. So, inspiration, color, and scent. Another thing that can help set the mood for a space. Essential oils are a natural way to do that. They can get really expensive. You can find cheaper essential oils in other places if you look. You can even buy the herbs and keep potted herbs in that space so that it is extra natural and a heck of a lot cheaper than buying essential oils. So there are lots of ways that you can add scents to your space. You can even choose to keep little small pre-made things that you can bake really fast, so the smell of something baking is always coming from your kitchen, but you're not always having to make them from scratch. When you sell a house, for example, people will recommend oftentimes in real estate as a tip for selling a house to keep place and bake cookies in the refrigerator, so that when someone's coming to look at your house, you just put a couple of cookies in the oven. You don't have to bake a whole dozen cookies, just making enough for it to smell like cookies in your living room. And it doesn't have to be cookies if you're trying to be healthy. It could be some muffins that smell good, that are healthy muffins with flax seeds. They still smell wonderful. If you put vanilla in the mix, then that vanilla scent will help spice up your environment, and peppermint oils and wonderful things that you can put in your kitchen or in your living room to help things smell good. So include happy colors and fresh scents, and invite as much natural light as you possibly can during the day. Natural light is very important. I never use artificial wavelength light bulbs in my house because they're terrible for your neurologic activity, and I'm a writer. I need my space to invite creative thought and allow my thoughts to continue to flow. So I always use the daylight spectrum light bulbs in my space, and I recommend that if you have any fluorescent lights in your home or in your workspace, try to switch those out. They're really bad for you. So another thing that I want to end with, that I started with, is don't try to clean too much. If you can space these little cleaning tips out, maybe you have to do a deep clean to get started, but don't make that your habit that you let it all pile up till the end of the week. Try to do as much a little at a time as possible, because when you end up cleaning too much all at once, you can be fatigued and hate cleaning, and then you don't ever enjoy your space. So make sure that you don't do too much. Sometimes I would try to do all of my cleaning all in one day. That's how I used to do it. But I would get so tired I would end up injuring myself. I actually pulled the vacuum cleaner trying to stretch the cord too far back on my hand, and my hand bled all over the vacuum cleaner when it smashed my hand. And then I had to clean up blood, and I had to clean up the vacuum cleaner, and I was so mad, and it made me have just like a horrible end to my cleaning day because I tried to do too much cleaning all at once. I've burned myself with a steam mop trying to do too much all at once. So I don't do that anymore. I'll just do it in little pieces throughout the week, and I don't mind it. I don't mind the cleaning as much when it's not all at once. So that's what I recommend. On my website, I have a permission slip for you. It's a laziness permission slip. So if you need it for yourself, to say to yourself, don't try to do too much all at once, then there it is. Because it's healthier to do things a little at a time and to maintain things than it is to try it all at once. So that's my hack for today. For spring cleaning, do one room at a time. Start where you're going to notice it, and don't try to do it all at once. Do it in small bites. Make sure you delegate. That's what I have, and I look forward to hearing your comments. If you have other cleaning hacks, feel free to add them onto my blog, and I will see you again next week for some more tips for a complete spring refresh of your life. Have a great week.